Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about how I rekindled the love and reignited the spark back in my relationship. Before we start the video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you won't miss out on any future relationship advice videos. Hi, my name's Emily, and if you're new to this channel, then welcome. My husband John and I created this channel to help others with their marriage and relationships after fighting and conquering some pretty nasty demons in our own marriage. In today's video, I am going to be telling you the exact steps John and I took to rekindle our marriage and reignite the spark after a really dark time we went through. The first thing we did was get back to basics. What I mean by this is that we focused on and recalled the early days of our relationship, back when we were just dating. We made it a point to talk fondly together about some of our more cherished memories during those times. We also reaffirmed to one another what made us fall in love with the other person to begin with. It was really touching to hear what John had adored about me most and still does. Thinking back to this honeymoon phase of our relationship was really sentimental for me. We also made it a point to start doing things we had stopped doing. For instance, we used to always play board games and cards together almost every night before bed. It was our fun way of unwinding, electronics free, before hitting the hay. So we made it a point to start incorporating that back into our nightly routine when possible, which became the part of our day we both looked forward to the most. So I recommend you and your partner talk together fondly about your early days and discuss what initially made you fall in love. Also, take a stroll down memory lane and start doing some of the things you used to love doing with the other person. I promise it'll really bring some fun and lightheartedness back into your relationship. Alright, the second thing we started doing was upping the romance. So this was primarily to reignite our spark. We started carving out time to be romantic together. Whether it was making dinner reservations at sexy restaurants or even just walking along the beach, we made it a point to really focus on having sexy us time. No work, no talk, no stress, just John and me. Reigniting the spark doesn't have to take some huge grand gesture either. Simply cooking dinner for your partner and lighting candles can be all the romance you need to get your groove back. The key here is to be consistent, so don't just focus on the romance for one night and think your work is done. Try and make it a weekly gesture or as often as you can anyways. The third step to rekindling our relationship required conquering communication. We had to learn to listen to one another again. It's not easy in a marriage or any relationship to simply communicate out of necessity. You have to want to communicate. To strengthen our relationship, we made it a priority to talk every day and actually ask one another about our day. By doing this, we were able to transform simple communication into deeper, more meaningful conversations. So, for instance, we went from simply communicating about things like making sure the electricity bill had been paid to actually inquiring about each other's days at work and planning our weekend adventures together. Once we were comfortably communicating again, everything else just kind of fell into place. Opening up the communication channels at first is not easy, but it does get easier in time to where you're communicating regularly without even thinking about it. Okay, the last step we took to rekindle our marriage centered around sweet gestures. For instance, I would make John's favorite dinner out of the blue just for the sake of surprising him, or one weekend I actually told him we would do whatever he wanted. Believe me, I didn't personally want to slave away in the kitchen for hours or devote my Sunday to watching football, but I did want to show my husband how much I loved him. These gestures surprised John, and I could tell it really softened his heart towards me. I noticed after my selflessness that he started going out of his way to show me love in his own way as well. From little gifts to grabbing my hand in public more, it was like we were dating for the first time all over again. And before I knew it, we were so focused on showing one another our love that these gestures became a daily part of our routine. So, the keys for us were, number 1, getting back to basics. Number 2, bringing in the romance. Number 3, focusing on communication. And number 4, being selfless. These 4 steps completely reignited the spark we had thought we had lost and brought us closer together than ever. But it wasn't easy and still isn't to this day. Anyone who tells you that you don't have to work every day to maintain a happy, healthy, and fulfilling marriage is a liar. So take it from me, be prepared to put in work every day, and trust me, you will be so happy you did. So that about wraps up today's video. I really hope you found these steps helpful and can incorporate them into your relationship. If you have any steps you think would work great at rekindling a relationship, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to read them. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It would really help out our channel. Also, share it with any friends or family who may also find it helpful. Again, my name is Emily. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.